if we want to have the experience of anything, we have to have the experience of everything. Existence can't just be one. You can't just have one experience of something. It has to be the experience of everything. You can't just have partial existence. You can't just, if you're going to create anything, you can't just create 10 things. It's either all or nothing when it comes to reality. So, in the experience of reality, well, we could, if we were the same being, not the same being, if we were the same person, like if there was just an infinite amount of Sajas, nothing else existed, that would be pretty boring, right? To just have, if everyone was the same mind. So we don't want to have the same mind. If we were to have individual, a lack of individual experience, that would also be pretty boring. There'd be no experience at all, unless there was an individual point of view of it. So we need to have individual experience. We don't want to be the same mind, but we all come from the same substance. So how can we make the same substance have an experience of autonomous freedom without it feeling or being experienced as being an absolute puppet to something else? The question would be then, well, we would have to create some form of ignorance, some form of not knowing of that. We would have to create some form of ignorance to seem to not be that, to know what it's like to not be in alignment with that autonomous flow. Because if we were just that, there would be absolutely no sense of freedom. It would just be, in fact, there would hardly be any cognitive function at all. It would just be like a tree, you know? So how can we have an individual experience but also feel autonomy, but also still be connected and one with everything? That's the question. Well, the realization has to be that everything is both spontaneously, autonomously created and also magically coherent with everything else. So that the individual experience has the experience of being able to have individual freedom, but knowing that the source of the individual freedom arises from infinite perfection. So an infinite perfection takes place and it shapes itself into the form of individual experience. And the individual has the shadow of that infinite freedom, and we call it choice. We call it free will. Free will is the finite mind's version of infinite perfect creativity. True free will is perfect freedom. It's the highest form of freedom. It is enough freedom to feel free, and not enough freedom that we don't fuck everything up in the process. You see? It's perfect freedom, it's perfect creativity, it's absolute perfect intelligence. It is both predestined and also made up on the spot. It's just like jazz music or doing the tango. It is absolute creative freestyle, but also perfectly synergized and coherent with every other seeming individual choice that is ever made. It's just absolute. You cannot fathom the level of perfection of that freedom. You are infinite
Yeah.
intelligence, but you're having a finite experience. And in the realm of finite experience, there are other finite experiences. So that means that we're in a realm of causality and time. So
Yes.
when we are, so what we have to do is, on the level of the individual, we have to embrace complete surrender to the whole. And as the whole, we express the freedom on the individual level. So the individual surrenders freedom to the whole, and the whole then expresses the freedom in the individual. So, for example, the individual self surrenders to the universal self. That's what puts it in coherence with the rest of the organism, so to speak, you see, with the rest of the decisions and everything else that's happening. Then,
Yes.
once that freedom is given up, the individual freedom, true individual freedom takes place because now the universe has gained an individual. You see, prior to that, the individual is
Yeah.
trying to control the absolute everybody else's decisions. Essentially, the individual is trying to control as the individual the rest of everything, But when the individual surrenders that control to allow everything else to work in coherence with it, literally like any other cell in a body or an organism, then
Yeah.
the sense of individual control is released, and universal will starts to take shape in the individual experience. And that is the highest freedom. That is where we have released the universe from our need to individually control it, be our own individual God, essentially. And we start to embrace coherence with everything. And then we realize, well, since I am and everything is in complete coherence, my decisions are now in alignment with. That's what happens. Our decisions become in alignment with nature. Our decisions, we can't say, oh no, this wasn't my individual choice because it's nature's choice and not mine. That would be, again, the individual trying to control. You see? We are nature. We are the whole collective. So every single decision that we make has always been in alignment with nature. We just didn't realize it. But now the individual's not trying to control anything. Now true individual choice can take shape. Thank you all for watching this video. I have a retreat. It's happening at the end of the year, the 1st to the 7th of December, 2025. If you'd like to join, the link is in the description. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Take care, guys.